Welcome to more Gran Turismo Sports Specialtatin. Today, we have sifter carts for FIA Cup race. Yes, the official race that makes you become a real race car driver if you do good or whatever in a certain circumstances. All that has a kart race. This will be interesting. I qualified on pole. This is not the lap I sold in the tutorial. That lap was actually done in this race. For this particular race, I got a 48.0, and I was still on the pole by almost 4/10 of a second. Karts are hard to drive. As far as I know, I was also in the top split for this time period. I raced at 5 o'clock Eastern. I guess I ain't gonna say if I won or not. Y'all can make an assumption on that as the race goes on. But I'll just say I got about 1,400 points for the FIA races, and as far as I know, I was in the top split. There's 3 other S-Class drivers in this one. And even so, there's a whole heck of a heap of sliding and borderline wrecking to straight up wrecking. Supposedly, it's even harder with a wheel. I'm glad I have a controller for this one, and only this one. But, well, it's working, ain't it, folks? As for everyone else, I don't know controller or not, but they're doing good. This ain't quite as competitive as, the very first race I specialtated for GT Sport. Honestly, I don't know what made that one so awesome looking back at it. I was with the fastest group of drivers back then, too, but that was at the very beginning of the game, so even if it was the fastest, in theory, they wouldn't nearly be as good as they are now just for practice. Me included in that. And well, now, as y'all can see from that, it might be slightly worse now than even back then. Worse in terms of competitiveness. It's kind of hard to really say with speed because that race was a different track, but even still, if you want to see an extremely competitive and crazily awesome kart race, watch that one. It has over 100 views. You'd find it pretty quick because that's one of the very first GT Sports Specialtatin, if not the first. This race is more, chaotic. That race was also chaotic, but in a competitive way. This is chaotic in a you literally do not know what's going to happen way. And the other race was borderline that, and this race it's completely that. Which is better, I guess, is in the eye of the beholder, but, I'll be holding the lead right now, so y'all can take that as you may. In the previous race, I won that one, spoiler alert if you haven't watched it. But it's still worth watching because it literally came down to the final turn for me to win that one. This race, again, I'll leave it up in the air. I ain't gonna say if I won, but I'd be holding the lead, and I guess it's in the eye of the beholder if I win for now, so whatever. As for this particular battle in this particular race, it's a good one. My honor. That driver at the beginning, not really beginning, but early in the race, sort of, that might have been dirty, but again, karts are hard to drive, so that was probably accidental, even though it sort of looked dirty, just because even the most minor contact in a car can send another driver spinning, especially if they're not using any of the assists, like the traction control, counter steering, blah blah blah. For whatever reason, PD logic, I assume, they don't allow you to see what assist people are using on the leaderboards. I assume, given that there's another person really high on the leaderboards who posted on GT Planet saying it's a good thing to use counter steering when you're using the karts, and obviously I know for sure that I am because, me. That's 2 of the 4, I think, in the top leaderboards are using it. Pretty much have to use it to be fast, so, hopefully everyone is, but again, that's kind of been the eye of the beholder too. There's a lot of chaos here, even with the age in theory being on, but, I don't know. I guess I can't really say, just given I'm not them, but whatever. It's still competitive, even though it's chaotic. It's not as competitive as some of the others, but it's not uncompetitive. There's been some passes that have been legitimately and not just from another car wrecking. That's something. what kind of something it is well, as usual. That wasn't exactly a pass from not wrecking. Neither was. It's not quite as competitive anymore, is it? Well, it lasted for a little bit being competitive, so take that as you may, as usual. Yeah, the other race might have been better. Again, I still have no idea why, but it did seem to be better. This race for an FIA race, though, I guess you kind of knew it was going to be chaotic coming in just because everybody's battling for points instead of more for fun. The race that I Specialtatin was actually from the demo, which, while stuff carried over from the demo to the main game, I don't think driver and sportsmanship rating did. So all those races were pretty much for fun. I guess where this is for points, that could be much more chaotic. But in theory, you can pass in a kart very cleanly, just in the fact of there's tons of more room on the track with karts because just from they're so small. You can go 3 wide this entire track if everyone's good enough. I think it's just the simple fact is GT, since the demo, has made karts even more undrivable. Okay, is that a PD logic? I don't really know. But that's again in the eye of the beholder. At least this is a race, I guess. The last time I said that, though, it ended in 2 simultaneous wrecks. Or really, it was probably just one big chain reaction wreck. I'm just gonna be quiet for a minute. Let stuff sort out. Okay, it seems to have calmed down a bit. That's a good thing. Laps are winding down. Everyone calming down is probably for the best. Okay, that's good. Yeah, the racing actually getting competitive again. That's a good thing. Yeah. Everyone seems to be racing clean. Actually, that is one thing to note, is even though there's been more wrecks this race in the last kart race, especially, I don't really think it's been any truly dirtier. It's just been more mistakes. I don't think they were intentional, but there just has happened to be more. Like that. It's winding down laps there, and that was completely clean. Actually, this is pretty good competitive racing there. Driver on the inside got the run, but the driver on the outside who got past there had the outside, so had the momentum, so was able to get a better drive because they're behind anyway, plus that momentum was able to do a nice clean cutback there, and that was on the inside, so therefore that outside driver probably would do the same thing eventually. But instead, the outside driver decides to brake late because the inside driver wasn't really expecting that. Most likely, they're not, given it was the inside driver that made the initial move. So in theory, that means that the inside driver would be expecting the outside driver to do the same thing, but the outside driver didn't. So therefore, the outside driver actually got to pass that. And so, well, that was actually pretty complicated, cool. And well, now that's the last turn of the race. So good job there by the third place driver getting back to third there. That was a nice move to end it. And well, there are the results. Top 2, not so competitive. Third, I'm back. Not bad. Not great, but not bad. Better than expected. Yeah, I think this is one of those races you truly and really don't know what to expect. So, this is definitely sort of the definition of an eye of the beholder race. And, well, I'll be holding on to lead the whole race. So I had a fun time. And that's worth a yeehaw.